Haunted locations have intrigued people for centuries, and stories of ghosts, unexplained noises, and strange occurrences have fueled the human imagination. From ancient castles to abandoned prisons, every corner of the earth seems to hold a place where the supernatural is believed to be very real. While many dismiss these tales as folklore or exaggerated myths, others swear by the experiences they've had, claiming to have witnessed the inexplicable firsthand. This article delves into some of the most famous haunted locations around the world, exploring the strange occurrences that have baffled both skeptics and believers alike. 1. The Tower of London. England. Tower of London, one of the most famous landmarks in England, has a dark and bloody history. Originally built in 1066 by William the Conqueror, it has served as a royal residence, a prison, and even a place of execution. Over the centuries, many prisoners were held within its walls, and many never left alive. One of the most famous ghost stories associated with the tower is that of Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, and was executed in 1536 on charges of adultery, treason, and incest. She was beheaded on Tower Green, and her ghost is said to still haunt the area. Witnesses have reported seeing her ghostly figure walking near the tower, carrying her head under her arm. Some say that her spirit roams the tower, looking for justice and seeking vengeance for her wrongful execution. Another haunting at the Tower of London involves the restless spirits of the many prisoners who perished within its walls. People have reported hearing disembodied voices, the sound of chains dragging, and even footsteps echoing through the cold stone halls. Visitors and staff alike claim to feel an oppressive, eerie presence, especially in the darkest, most secluded corners of the tower. The catacombs of Paris, France. Beneath the streets of Paris lies a vast network of tunnels known as the catacombs. Originally created as a series of limestone quarries, the catacombs were transformed in the late 18th century into a burial site for millions of Parisians. Over the years, the bones of the deceased were stacked in elaborate arrangements, creating an eerie and unsettling atmosphere. Today, the catacombs are open to the public, but some visitors have reported experiencing strange occurrences while exploring the underground maze. The atmosphere is undeniably creepy, with the walls lined with skulls and bones, but some claim that they have felt an invisible presence following them through the tunnels. Others have reported hearing whispers or voices, but when they turn around, no one is there. Perhaps the most terrifying story associated with the catacombs is that of a man who ventured into the depths of the tunnels alone, only to disappear without a trace. A video camera was later found, recording footage of the man's last moments. The video showed him walking through the dark passages before he appeared to be overtaken by some unknown force. The footage ends abruptly, and to this day no one knows what happened to him. 3. The Myrtles Plantation, Louisiana. USA. Myrtles Plantation, located in St. Francisville, Louisiana, is often regarded as one of the most haunted places in the United States. The plantation was built in 1796 and has a tragic history, with numerous tales of murder, betrayal, and the restless spirits of those who met untimely deaths. One of the most famous ghosts of the Myrtles Plantation is that of a slave named Chloe. According to legend, Chloe was a house slave who sought revenge after being punished by her master. She allegedly poisoned a cake that was served to the family, causing the deaths of 2 of the plantation's owners. In retaliation, she was killed, and her body was thrown into the Mississippi River. Many visitors to the plantation have reported seeing the ghost of Chloe. She is said to appear as a shadowy figure wearing a turban, and her spirit is said to roam the grounds, particularly near the main house. Guests have reported hearing her footsteps, feeling a sudden cold breeze, and even seeing her face peering out from windows. Other strange occurrences at the Myrtles Plantation include inexplicable cold spots, objects moving on their own, and eerie voices echoing through the empty halls. The plantation has earned a reputation for being haunted, and many people claim to have experienced ghostly encounters during their visits. 4. Akigahara Forest, Japanakagera Forest, located at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan, is often referred to as the suicide forest due to the high number of suicides that have occurred there over the years. While it is a beautiful, serene place to visit, the forest's dark history has given rise to many eerie stories and supernatural legends. Many believe that the spirits of those who have taken their own lives in the forest haunt its dense, eerie woods. There have been numerous reports of strange occurrences in Akigahara, with people claiming to hear voices or footsteps when no one is around. Some have even claimed to see shadowy figures working between the trees or feel an overwhelming sense of dread as they walk through the forest. The dense canopy of trees in Akigahara creates an unnerving stillness, and many visitors report feeling disoriented or lost, even when they are on marked trails. The forest's reputation as a place of death and despair only adds to its creepy atmosphere, and some believe that the spirits of those who died there may be trapped, unable to move on. 5. Poveglia Island, Poveglia Island, located off the coast of Venice, Italy, has a long and grim history. It was once used as a quarantine station for the bubonic plague in the 18th century, and later became an insane asylum in the 20th century. Over the years, thousands of people have died on the island, and it is said to be one of the most haunted places in the world. One of the most famous stories from Poveglia Island involves the ghost of a former doctor who worked at the asylum. According to legend, the doctor was responsible for performing cruel and inhumane experiments on the patients. He eventually went mad and jumped to his death from the bell tower. Today, visitors to the island claim to hear strange noises, like the sound of a bell tolling, even though the bell is no longer functional. Others have reported hearing screams or seeing shadowy figures moving through the abandoned buildings. The island has been closed to the public for years, but rumors of strange occurrences persist. People who have ventured onto the island illegally have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they are being watched by unseen forces. The island's dark history and eerie atmosphere have made it a place of fascination for ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. 6. Château de Brissac, Franchetti. Château de Brissac, located in the Loire Valley of France, is a grand castle with a tragic history. In the 15th century, it was the site of the brutal murder of Charlotte de Brissac, the wife of the Duke of Brissac. According to legend, the Duke discovered his wife's infidelity and, in a fit of rage, killed her and her lover. Charlotte's ghost is said to haunt the castle to this day, particularly in the rooms where she was murdered. Visitors to the chateau have reported seeing the ghost of Charlotte, who is often described as a tall woman dressed in a green gown. Her face is said to be covered in blood, and she is said to roam the halls, crying out for vengeance. Some have also reported hearing the sound of footsteps following them or feeling a cold breeze brushing against them. The Château de Brissac is open to tourists, but many visitors claim to have experienced strange occurrences during their visits. Some have felt a heavy, oppressive atmosphere in certain rooms, while others claim to have seen lights flickering or heard mysterious whispers in the empty halls. 7. The Island of the Dolls, Mexico. Island of the Dolls, Isla de las Muquecas, is located in the Xochimilco area of Mexico City. It is a small, eerie island known for its unsettling collection of old, decaying dolls. The island's history is just as strange as its appearance. According to local legend, a man named Don Julian Santana, who lived on the island, discovered the body of a young girl who had drowned in the area. In an attempt to appease her spirit, Don Julian began collecting dolls and hanging them from the trees. Over time, the island became covered in thousands of dolls, many of which are missing limbs, eyes, and faces. Some of the dolls are said to be haunted, and there have been reports of strange occurrences on the island. Visitors have claimed to hear the dolls whispering or moving, even though there is no wind. Others have reported feeling watched by the eyes of the dolls or even seeing the dolls' heads turn when no one is near. The island of the dolls has become a popular but chilling tourist attraction. Some believe that the dolls are inhabited by spirits, while others think the island itself is cursed. Regardless, the strange occurrences and haunting atmosphere make it one of the most eerie locations in the world. The fort is now in ruins, and it is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who died there. Visitors have reported hearing strange sounds, like the echo of footsteps or the rustling of chains. Others claim to have seen ghostly figures wandering the fort's crumbling corridors. Locals believe the fort is cursed, and many refuse to visit the area after dark. Strange occurrences in haunted locations around the world have captured the imaginations of people for centuries. Whether it's the ghost of a long-dead monarch, a tormented spirit seeking revenge, or the restless souls of those who perished under tragic circumstances, the stories surrounding these places continue to fascinate. While skeptics may dismiss these tales as mere superstition or the product of overactive imaginations, the eerie atmosphere of these haunted locations and the inexplicable experiences of those who visit them leave many wondering whether there is more to these stories than meets the eye. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, the mysteries of haunted locations offer a glimpse into the darker, unexplained corners of human history.